Hello everyone and welcome to a mod showcase. Today we're taking a look at Antimatter Annihilation. The mod is developed by Epic Guru and, I want to butcher this name, Arkings Lapland? Anyway, the mod is really cool. It does require another mod called In-Game Wiki, which I really wish that a lot of other mod developers will use because it really breaks down everything you need to know about this mob. How to start, what it is, what each of the weapons are, the defenses, the ultra tech, power armor, what the buildings do. I mean, it really goes into great detail, and there's a really good story to read here. Just a welcome here. It says, this is an in-game mod that adds powerful items, weapons, defenses, and materials. It also adds mysterious and powerful new faction who will try to keep the secret of antimatter technology at any cost. This is the in-game wiki. It will give additional information about items and buildings by default. By default, pages are hidden to avoid spoilers. This can be disabled if you want to see the entire contents. So you can hide them and whatnot if you don't have the research done. But looking at the weapons, there's a lot of really good weapons. Like the antimatter rifle here is one of the starting weapons. It fires tiny amounts of antimatter contained in a spherical AT field. Upon impact, the AT field dissolves, exposing the antimatter to the surrounding environment and causing an annihilation reaction. It does 16 damage. Its accuracy is okay. Range is pretty good for what it is. But there's more. There's a blaster. Does 20 damage though, which is pretty good. It is fairly close range. And that accuracy at very close range is beautiful. You got a grenade launcher, you got antimatter grenades, antimatter rifle that I already had put down apparently, okay, an SMG, and a sniper rifle. The sniper rifle does 35 damage, 85% penetration, 100% accuracy at long range. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that, really. And then there's another level of weapons. You get the Devastator LMG, does 21 damage. Its accuracy at medium is actually really good for an LMG. Armor penetration is absurd. Moving on to the smart gun here. It only does 6 damage, but it does 12 shots. So, I mean, you kind of trade off a bit of damage for more bullets, and it has really good accuracy for such a close range. Well, actually, no, that's a pretty good range. I looked at the burst count as the range, but no, it has pretty decent range. So, I mean, in the long run now, it's a good choice. Then it has a Devastator sniper rifle, which does 63 damage. Granted, you trade off a little bit of accuracy at long range there compared to the antimatter one, but it's really worth it if you think about it, because 63 damage versus, where's that right here, 35. I mean, and to put that in kind of a perspective here, let's just look at a regular sniper rifle here. It does 25 and it is only 97 to 95% accuracy at medium or long range. And then you get into some melee weapons that are hilarious and pretty decent. You got the Galvan Knuckles here, which are a set of brass knuckles upgraded with plasteel and equipped with an eternal battery that shocks the person hit and causes intense pain but minimal damage. So it doesn't really damage them that much, but it does cause a lot of pain, which is pretty good for beating the crap out of prisoners and anybody else that you want to capture. The composite blade has a little bit of a hit on work speed, but improves movement speed. Has pretty good damage and armor penetration. The energy released from the flow through the user, increasing their maximum muscle strength and allowing them to move much faster than normal. This also tires out the user, resulting in slightly decreased work speed. So you get more strength at a cost of slower work speed. Good trade-off there. Now the scissor blade, which I'm sure is a reference to something that I don't quite get, but it has 16 damage and 100% armor penetration, and improves work speed. It is a unique long blade that resembles half a pair of scissors, very high cutting damage and armor penetration. A fast, blunt attack, painted red so you don't lose your way. So this weapon here would be fantastic for a melee at the entrance of a kill box, just to keep people off your back. The secret sword, which I don't really know. I played with this mod a lot, and I've not seen the sword, so I don't know if it's only obtainable a certain way, or maybe I've just missed it, or didn't really know what it was. But it does 14 melee damage with a 79% armor penetration and a buff to move speed. At first glance, it appears to be a longsword of ancient design, but closer inspection shows that it is made of ultra-advanced materials and has an incredibly sharp cutting edge, a weapon to rival the strength of the scissor blade. So it's another good choice. And then you have the Karambit. Karambit. Wow, I can't talk. 17 damage and 48% armor penetration. So it's another good melee weapon there. Alright. So as you can see here, we have purple building and a gold building. This purple building is made out of antimatter composite, which has 1350 hit points, which is a lot. And then the hyper alloy wall, which is just purely absurd at 3600 hit points. The beauty rating, though, not on the walls. On the hyper alloy, it doesn't really have any beauty rating, or the antimatter composite, sorry. The hyper alloy, though, it would make any building look fantastic. Now, the way you get these is through a few different ways. First, you got to start off with a particle accelerator here. And with the particle accelerator, you put in plasteel. Correct? Yeah. Put in plasteel. Let's go ahead and set that to max there. And it will produce 2 canisters per day, give or take. Now you can also increase. No, you can't. You can't increase the I don't care about that. The power on this one. There's other things you can increase the power on. That's my bad. So you build that, and that'll start getting you the antimatter. And then from there, you get a composite refiner, and that's where you put in the plasteel, or more plasteel, sorry. And then one of the canisters that comes out of the particle accelerator. So from there, you build an alloy fusion machine, which then you put in your antimatter composite, some gold, some uranium, a whole lot of other stuff, and you can change power level to make it work faster or slower. Of course, it also has power generation options, like this reactor, which is fairly expensive. I mean, 1100 steel, 50 gold, 200 plasteel, 30 components, 5 advanced components. But it does generate quite a bit of stuff. You need a reactor injector and a power converter. So let's set the fuel here and look at that animation. That is absolutely beautiful. Let's go ahead and set that up. So with this, we are generating 30,000 watts, which you can actually increase that to 120,000. Now the great thing about the actor injectors that I absolutely love is you can set them up like this, and they work great as a short range, very, very deadly weapon. In fact, let's take Bertha here, and let's just go stand her in it. Nope, you're gonna walk around it. Nope. There you go. See? And look at the damage. Annihilation. And that's what kind of damage that these weapons do. They do annihilation damage. It's a little bit different damage than your typical ones. In fact, it says an annihilation energy caused by contact with antimatter. The flesh is literally annihilated, leaving nothing behind but a gruesome wound. Causes intense pain and has a high chance of infection. So if you get hit by any antimatter weapons, or the people that get hit by them have a very high chance of getting infections. Okay. Moving on to the weapons. So the first weapon that you get is the Thunder Gun, which uses uranium slugs, and it has a pretty decent attack. Let's see if I can't do this here. Let's put down a sleeping spot. See if I can't get it to target it. Yes. It does pretty decent damage. 25 damage, decent medium accuracy, decent range. For a turret, and it does shoot pretty good. Oh, Hancock's getting in there now. Oh well, but it does get a pretty good. Every 7 or 8 seconds or so, it'll fire. What was that? 3 shots? No, 4 shots. So it'll fire 4 shots. Okay, so let's get you to hold fire there. And then the next weapon, which is the MBD. It uses antimatter canisters here to shoot, and it says 0 out of 2, but let's set up it's shooting here. Get it to turn around here. And as you can see, it does last longer than just 2 shots. And I'm not going to sit there and count all them shots, but it fires every 5 seconds. The fire rate is 900 rounds per minute, which it only has a damage of 8, but it's pretty good. And then we're going to look at my favorite weapon, which is completely overkill, and that's the railgun. Okay, let's get you to not shoot anymore. Let's get you some fuel here. And yes, these weapons, once you build it, you still have to fuel them. Look at that. We already have a antimatter canister there. So, yeah. So this guy right here has a really cool animation that I absolutely love. And Nicole, are you going to get away? And does just an astonishing amount of power or damage. It does 220 damage, 130 armor penetration. It has a radius of explosion there that does just a certain amount of damage. Place a few of them around your base, ain't nobody getting through. Okay. So then, we're going to look at the M3G human. This guy here. Hey, let's not have you attack, please. Okay, so this guy here is just if he fires a beam of energy up to an ancient geostationary satellite where it is reflected towards a specific coordinate on the planet's surface. The beam incinerates all living things and quickly destroys any structures in their blast. Firing the beam of energy creates a huge electromagnetic pulse in both the area it is fired from and also the area it impacts on, temporarily shutting down all electronics. Excuse me. So, say we want to attack here. What he's going to do, it's going to take a little while to charge up. So while that's charging there, let's talk about this guy here, PowerNet console. This one, which does take 2 different researches to do, but it's a really helpful tool to look at what all is using your power, and you can even turn it off here. Okay, so this guy's going. It does take a while. I will give it that. Come on. But these animations are absolutely amazing. Alright, so that's that guy. So that's good for siege or something like that, but remember, it does kill your electronics here. Okay, so back to looking at this guy. Okay, so as you can see now, it doesn't have power, but it still shows that we're receiving power. But you can go through there, and if you have a bunch of like turrets or something just killing your power, you can turn them off there and even turn them back on. And that eliminates the need to sit there and designate power toggle, designate power toggle, designate power toggle, and all that, and gives you better control and better idea of where your power is going. Yeah, y'all are going to die, and I don't really care. So let's look at the research cost here. So to start off with, you have to hack the Ultratech database, which is 2,500 research, and it only requires the multi-analyzer level technology. Not too bad. And then from there, melee is 1,500, instant flick, that's what we were discussing a second ago. And now you research the turrets, but you don't actually get turrets. You don't get the turrets until you research the thunder gun. I don't really know why, but that's just the way it is. And then from there, it goes on throughout different levels of technology. But yeah, it's an investment. It is. I mean, obviously the particle accelerator takes plasteel, the composite refiner takes plasteel. This takes gold and uranium to run. This takes the antimatter canisters to run, so you have to have those to run that. And we talked about the cost of this, and also the thing that really makes things expensive is the hyper components. This component blends antimatter technology with aerotech technology. It is tremendously complicated and will probably never be understood by human minds. It can be used to construct and craft things that were previously only theoretical. Now, the only way to get these is by having the Division K, sometimes it's X. I think it just changes letters depending on your spawn in or whatever, because I've had from Division H to Division X and different things. But anyway, you have to have the division raid you, and there's a chance for them to drop components, albeit a very small chance, but a chance nonetheless. So that's how you get the hyper components. Okay, now let's look at their armor. The Void armor, even Glitter World planets struggle to understand and use the technology that allows antimatter composite to so effectively deflect kinetic and energy projectiles. Well, it's power armor. It has 104% sharp armor, 64% blunt, 56% heat, 61 cold insulation, and 19 heat. And it does take a hit on work speed and move speed. And same thing with the Void helmet. Good sharp, decent blunt, good heat, and more penalties. So just to kind of put that in perspective, let's look at... I hit the wrong button. Let's look at me hit the wrong button. Let's look at power armor. Let's look at just the vanilla power armor. It is better with sharp armor and blunt and heat and all that, but granted, this is poor, this is master. So let's get a different. Let's look at a different different void armor here. Can I get nope? Poor master. Let's look at this master one here. It's 188 sharp, 116 blunt, and 101 heat. So, I mean, it just depends on the level of crafters and what they make, if it'll be better than the marine armor. But as you can see, the master level is better. The master level void armor is better than the master level marine armor. Okay. Trying to think. Yep. So in the machining table, that's where you make your antimatter grenades and your grenade launcher. And you can make anti-grenade warheads since when? Oh, you can make them using antimatter. I did not know that was part of the mod. Huh. Things you learn when you're... Anyway. That's cool. I didn't know you could do that. Okay. And then in the fabrication bench, you make the void armor, the blaster, the rifle, the SMG, and the sniper rifle. And in the smithy, you make the karambit, resonating blade, scissor blade, and secret sword. Maybe that's why I've never seen the secret sword, because I just don't ever build one of them. Okay. So the Devastator weapons, you cannot get any other way than from raiders. That's the only way to get them. So you have to watch out for those, because they are quite powerful. And the solar flare is still going on because I had the game paused. So yeah, I mean, it's your typical solar flare, lasts about the average time. The solar flare shield mod, it does deflect it, so keep that in mind. Okay, so Nicole, let's take a look at the antimatter grenades. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Come on. Yes, Bertha died. I don't care. So I just kind of want to show you these antimatter grenades here, because they are quite something. Let's shoot this turtle here. Okay, so that went by a little bit fast. So there's something else. Maybe this dog here. I know it's our dog, but you know. So yeah, those are the grenades. They do have pretty decent damage. The last weapon, and the last thing I'm going to cover here, is the N2 mine. It's a mine. Oh, it might help if I have you selected. It's just your typical IED, but it does... Wow, you can't hit it, can you? It does quite a bit of damage. Oh my god. See? So, yeah, don't build that anywhere near your base if you want your base to continue to stand. Anyway, that about does it for this showcase here. If you've seen anything that I missed and is worth mentioning, please let me know in the comments below. Leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do, really. If you want me to cover a mod, let me know in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching, and have a good day.